All right, draft fans, we're back with another prospect interview. Today we are here with my personal favorite player in the entire draft, JaCoby Stevens, defensive player, defensive athlete from LSU. I don't even know if I can put a position on it. I mean, we'll get to that when we get to the film here. But how you doing today, man?
I'm doing fine. I'm appreciative that you invited me onto the show.
Dude, you were my first person I wanted. Like when I saw you signed with A3, I was like, yes, A3. I know them. I can get them on here. There we go.
Oh, definitely.
But you just got back from the Senior Bowl this past week. You were at the Senior Bowl. You had a couple of your teammates down there and stuff like that. How was that whole experience for you? I know it was a little bit different than normal, but right there in front of all the scouts, all the teams, how was that whole thing for you?
I mean, it was a great opportunity. I mean, just getting down there and really, getting to know guys, guys that you really just heard over Twitter or, you just saw, things that they did, at their respective colleges. And, you get us all, the top seniors in the country all at one spot in Mobile and get to compete and you get to meet them. I was just talking with one of my friends earlier I got to meet Mark Webb. He played at Georgia, and he's a very funny guy. But alongside of just meeting the guys and being able to create relationships there, you also have the business side of it with the pro teams and pro scouts there as well. So basically, just putting a good foot forward and during the interview process, I think that that setup down there was really great on both ends of with the trying to show off in front of the scouts and talk to the scouts one on one, and then also just meeting new guys and competing against guys that that weren't on the schedule the 4 years you were in college.
Yeah. In the SEC, you played against top talent all the time. I mean, Alabama in particular, you played against those receivers and stuff like that. But were there any guys down there at the Senior Bowl where you never really played against them in college, but then you saw them down there, you're like, holy shit, this guy's legit. Like, damn.
I mean, that's the thing. I've seen so much.
You play in the SEC all those years. I mean, you see a lot of guys, but
right. So I mean, there was a couple of guys out there. Being able to see them in person and like in practice was a wow for me. Seeing Amari Rodgers in practice was a big deal. Just see how he worked and just see what he did. After practice was just huge to me. Granted, we played each other in the national championship and we scrimmaged against each other in high school at UTK, but being able to see his growth not only from high school but to the college level and see what he does and how he prepares throughout the week was just awesome.
Yeah, that's great, man. And I like to talk a little bit about off-field stuff too before we get to the film because I think that's just a huge part of the process. Like you just said with the interviews and stuff, that's huge. And I was looking at LSU's site here, and they have like this whole big paragraph about you. I mean, they are going on about how much they love you there on the LSU site, which is more than I see about most players. So I'll start with the first part that it says right off the get-go that you are the leader of the LSU team on and off the field. When did you really step into that kind of leadership role for a school like LSU? I mean, we're talking about LSU here. It's not like any kind of small school thing.
I mean, just for me, just stepping into that leadership role. I mean, I would say like towards the end of my junior year, but like characteristics of myself and like how I carry myself, that was something that was instilled in me at a young age. Really and truly, sometimes this is being a leader is just doing what's right and wrong. What's doing what's right, and it's knowing from what's right and wrong. Having very high integrity, and I pride myself on that. So just learning and watching guys that came before me, and just getting enough confidence just to grab guys and put my arm around them and just kind of like take them along the way and try to show them the right way and show them the path that I took at LSU. That confidence kind of started coming towards the end of my junior year. But me, the characteristics of being a leader has always been instilled in me.
Awesome. And then you were given that famed number 7 this past year.
Right.
Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu, Grant Delpit. I mean, so many great defensive players over the history of LSU wearing that number 7. What did that kind of mean to you to be kind of given that big honor?
Yeah, like you said, you just listed a big list of names with Grant and with Tyrann. I mean, you can even kind of go to the other side of the ball with Leonard and DJ Chark. But for me, the person that number 7 stood most for was Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
Patrick Peterson was always a guy that I looked up to. He was always a guy that um, I couldn't just, I always just look forward into this meeting. When he may not know this because it's probably just this another day for him. But after the Florida game, I was walking back to my apartment, and he was driving, and he told me that I had a good game. And literally right, he drove off, and literally right after that, I called my dad. I was like, "Dad, you wouldn't believe it. Patrick Peterson just told me I had a good game on the road." And that's just how much of awe I am with Patrick Peterson. So when they gave me the opportunity to wear his jersey number at the respective school that he went to, man, I just jumped at the opportunity.
That's so cool. It's so weird to me, like, because I see you as just NFL draft prospect, JaCoby Stevens, stuff like that. It's just funny that you get starstruck by those NFL guys as well, because you just don't think of it that way, Like it's so interesting.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, I remember growing up, just I had the little flip phone back in the day, and Patrick Peterson used to be my little screensaver in middle school. So being able to talk to somebody that has my screensaver was just a big deal to me.
That's so cool. That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
The one more thing I wanted to ask you before we start jumping into some of your super fun film is I saw all the community stuff that you've done. I think I have the whole list of it here. I can even read some of it off for people that are tuning in. Here, let me go. Active with social justice initiatives, participate in a drive that helped gather supplies, water, and other items for victims of Hurricane Laura. Speaks regularly to schools in the Baton Rouge area. LSU nominee for the 2020 Good Works team. It just seems like you're very, very, very active off the field in the community. One, is that something you're going to bring to the NFL? And two, how did you kind of get started in this kind of stuff?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's something I plan on carrying on, when I enter to the NFL and, after my career is over with. And for me, it's just giving back, just being able to give people that's younger than me information. Like I said, I'm really big on giving guys and women information. You can give them things such as gloves, or you could give them a picture. But the biggest thing I think people will benefit from is just, information, and sometimes just a act of service. That's just something like my mom did a really good job of raising me in that sense of just sometimes it's just good just to do something for somebody, just go out your way to do something for somebody, and that can just change somebody. And on the perspective of information, my dad just taught me just you can retain and keep information for the rest of your life. I mean, a pitcher's going to get old. You're going to people going to end up losing the gloves or whatnot, or a signed ball. But information is something that's going to stick with you and affect you a lot of years down the road. So for me, with the opportunity that I have, I just try to do that and, give back and give information and do certain things like that for people that, maybe need it that day, or, for to allow them to know that they have opportunities beyond what is presented to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big part of, people don't talk about that with the NFL. The NFL, it is a sport, it is all that stuff, but it's also, you're basically an influencer to a lot of these kids. I mean, like you said, Patrick Peterson was on your screensaver growing up and stuff. If he were to come into your school and say something to you, you would have, anything he would have said, you would have hung on every single word.
Definitely. I would have done exactly everything he would have said if he came to my school.
And some kids are gonna be looking up to what you said there. So yeah, that stuff's just so huge. And I always love at least showcasing people who do that stuff, because it is a really big part of this side of football and entertainment that people don't really talk about.
Definitely.
All right, perfect. So we're going to have a nice little mix of clips here, a couple from this past season, a couple from the year before, just because there was some clips from your 2019 season I didn't feel like I wanted to leave out. So
right.
we'll jump around through a couple here. But first, we got you here in the box. And for people who are just tuning in, I know it said safety, JaCoby Stevens. To say that you're just a safety is doing a disservice. I kind of want to ask you before we even get into this first clip, was this kind of did they plan this because of how versatile you were? Like, okay, we're going to use this guy as an edge player, slot corner, deep safety, linebacker, or was that kind of a role in the defense that you just kind of stepped in and filled?
I think Honestly, when I first came to LSU, I think it started with just trying to get me on the field. I know Coach O, he's really big on just getting his athletes on the field.
Mhm.
So, I mean, even going to the receiver side of the ball, I think Coach O was just trying to get me on the field. And then coming back to defense, I always joke, because when I transferred back to defense, Coach Randall was a defensive coordinator at the time, and I just, I joked. I said, he's a master genius, so he probably put me an outside linebacker to teach me outside linebacker, and then move me to safety, and then move me to inside linebacker. So in 2019, I can have the year that I have,
Mhm.
because I know what's going on. So I think a little bit had to do with just trying to get me on the field, and then a lot of had to do with just my versatility and willingness to learn and play different roles for the team.
Yeah, and I love how they used you as a blitzer. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, LSU has some of the most like creative, aggressive blitz designs,
Oh
like
yeah.
especially to free guys up like you and Jabril Cox and all of you guys that were coming off the edge and getting in the box there. So this is the
Mm-hmm.
first clip here where they're going to be slanting down the defensive line. I think 18 actually does a great job of taking out this left guard, and then you're able to kind of loop back in and get that
Mm-hmm.
sack. Now, was this the design blitz here, or were you kind of just reading how the blocks were developing
Well,
and breaking after that?
so basically, this call right here is back ain't gonna want smoke. So the blitz. So you see, like you said, you notice the D line is there doing a stunt to the left, and you
Mm,
have the nickel coming off from the back. So really and truly, if say that backward appeal, uh, the nickel will have that. Nickel will have that back man to man.
yeah.
But if the back would have this ran straight out, I would have to take the back. But
Oh,
since
okay.
so
Okay.
so that's why you see me back up pre snap. And once I saw Kylan take Cordell right there,
Hmm.
I basically have just a freeway go, and I just replace, and I just I come up free.
Nice. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense. 'Cause I thought you were kind of. I thought you were mugging up in that gap to kind of showcase that blitz, and then you were backing off and then showing a
Right.
delayed blitz.
Well,
But yeah,
well,
that makes sense too there.
right. So when I did that, so when I did mug up, I mugged up to get the attention. See, you see Colin pointing right here.
Yep. Yep.
So I already get the attention. So they slide the protection this way. So they slide
Hmm.
the protection towards me, which frees up the nickel.
Yep.
But so when I come back, Colin checking the protection towards me, sliding towards me, makes Colin pick up the nickel coming from the other way, which in turn free me up.
Yep. Yeah.
So him pointing me out benefited this time.
Yeah. So when you guys are studying film prior to an opponent, like before you're playing Mississippi State here, how are you guys like deciphering how they call out their protections? Like, are you looking at what the running back does, what the quarterback does, what the center does? I mean, are you kind of studying how they do their protections and stuff as well?
Well, with Mississippi State, this was a new offense for them.
Yeah.
So it's it was kind of learning on the run. Granted, this was on third down,
Hmm.
and this was actually the first series of the game.
Yep.
So I just noticed that Colin was basically he was kind of pointing out where he thought the blitz was coming from. I mean, Coach Pelini was known for sending blitzes, so they were really big on picking up blitzes. So I just noticed Colin was kind of pointing and trying to figure out, who's coming. So I just showed one way, and the whole time they were, their first drive, they were keying where I was because I was playing in the box. So that's why I showed opposite of where where the blitz was actually coming. Because really and truly, while Colin is reading me, I'm reading him.
Yeah.
So I was trying to set the blitz up for, the nickel and myself.
Perfect. Yeah, that's that chess game between offense and defense. It's always so fun to look at that chess game with it here. And we're going to talk about another blitz coming on this one. I think the slot guy blitz is here. But like I said, just playing everywhere here. Now we're back in deep safety. And like you said, you play a little bit of linebacker to kind of start. And I think that's where you had a lot of, like most of your success was in that, like, mugging gaps, getting up near the line of scrimmage. But how did the transition to safety go? Did you play safety in high school, or was this kind of?
Right. Right. So I played safety. I played safety in high school.
Okay.
That playing deep safety is not foreign to me. It's something that I'm very comfortable with. I do. I can do that. And play in the box, but playing in the box keeps me around the ball. There's more plays, so you have more fun making more plays.
Yeah.
But covering tight ends and covering in the half and the post does that's something that I'm not foreign to. That's something I'm very comfortable with.
Yeah. Certainly. And when you have design plays like this, where it's a design blitz and you're kind of replacing where that slot guy is and you're kind of in that off-man coverage, are you playing it a little more aggressive because you're counting on the blitz getting there? Or how are you kind of playing this route here? Like, are you worried about, like, for instance, the out and up because you know that blitz is coming?
Well, right here, this is I want to say this is away angle one.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, Jabril is coming off the edge away from the running back. But really and truly, when you're playing man to man, you have to trust your eyes and trust your leverage. So right here in this situation, I'm coming down with the way angle one, and I know that I have inside help with the mic right here.
Gotcha.
So I'm playing outside leverage, and I have to win outside. If the tight end makes it in breaking route, I have more time to get to it, but I also have a hole player due to the running back staying in to protect.
Perfect. But yeah, I just love seeing how you can go one play, you can go from blitzing and mugging the gaps, and then you're in that deep safety spot coming down and playing man coverage. It's always great to see. And then getting to this next clip here, I think this is Mississippi State from 2019. We're going to have you playing off the edge here. So even more so in the box. So how was that difference even for you? Because you go from playing in the safety and, you're running the alley, you're covering over top, and now you're on the line of scrimmage having to take on offensive tackles and stuff. How was that transition for you when they got you more to like even this edge role like this?
I mean, just, you kind of have to play to do this, you got to play the game within the game. So, being put in different situations, you got to play each play as it is a game itself. So as like you saw on the first play of the game, I started off as a 3 technique, and I basically went off as a inside linebacker. So that technique is different. Playing safety, that technique is different. And now I'm playing DN / outside linebacker right here. This is Coach Aranda's defense, so I'm playing the field linebacker in this situation. And this is 4th down, and this is Saw Dog. I remember this call. This is Saw Dog, and so this is basically a simulated pressure. Caleb Vaughn's going to drop back, and instead of him, I'm going to blitz. Right. Yeah. So so right here, really and truly, I'm playing the situation. They're trying. Mississippi State was trying to get. They're trying to get my eyes with Kylan coming across to wide me out to hit the gap right inside of me. And knowing the situation, knowing it was 4th down, and that's not my responsibility. I just kept going and made tackle for loss.
Yeah, that's great. So throughout the week, which position group do you meet with? Do you just kind of stop by every single, even the defensive tackles? You're just gonna wander in there and.
I mean, it's funny because I actually sometimes I have to change the meeting room. So like on Mondays and Tuesdays, how we break it up, I'm in the safety room.
Okay.
And Wednesdays is our 3rd down days. So I'm in the inside linebacker room. And then depending on how our short yardage calls are, I'll be in the outside linebacker room. So it really just depends on what the game plan is and what I'm really doing, especially 2019 when I was with Coach Aranda. But I really kind of went from room to room, and that's why the notepad and pen are a really big deal for me.
Yeah, dude, I'm sure your notebook is completely filled.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I think I may go through 3 notebooks a year just because I write down everything as it is. So now they give me all this information on the different positions I'm going to play. So I'm writing that down. And then when I go watch film to get like tendencies on what the offense is doing, I'm writing that down. So my playbook is filled. Oh man.
You mastered the shorthand of writing things down,
Oh yeah, I had to.
But the other thing I want to mention about this, you mentioned simulated pressures and I love sim pressures. I think they're one of the best parts about defensive football, because when you can get a quarterback thinking one thing and getting them to kind of overreact to something, like just bringing pressures at different angles, I think at quarterbacks is huge.
Right.
For you though, when it comes to sim pressures and you're say on the line like this, or you're mugging an A gap or a B gap or something like that, how important is it, like even if you are not the one blitzing, to sell that blitz like you are blitzing? Like how big is it to show that everyone up at that line is coming? You know?
Right. So like on the first play we showed of the session, the first play, it was very important for me, kind of after seeing what Colin does, pointing out the blitz and the slide of protection. It was very important for me to show that blitz, so 25, our nickel, would get a one-on-one with the back. So now instead of them sliding the protection to where the blitz is actually coming from, we have a one-on-one with the running back who's, granted he's not as good of a pass blocker as an offensive lineman is. Mm-hmm. So by doing that, you get a one-on-one with the nickel, and then with the running back doing that, you just add in, and like I said, and that's how I came free. And then on with the play that we were just showing right here, mm-hmm. Like I said, this is fourth down, but usually on like a normal down, I'll be off. Like I'll be off by the second receiver,
gotcha,
the slot receiver, and I'll show that I'm in coverage, and then I will come and Kaiir will drop, and that simulated pressure in itself messes up the quarterback, because in terms, Kaiir is more of a pass rusher than I am. So you look at him coming sending the pressure, and most quarterbacks are taught to throw into the blitz. So if he's thinking the blitz is coming weak, and he's trying to throw the slant, or he's trying to throw the flat into the coverage, well, the B backer's there. So either he's going to throw a pick, or he's going to hold the ball, and that's how while I'm playing basically field outside linebacker, F outside linebacker, or sometimes we played in nickel. That's how that one hesitation gives you enough time to get the sack or get a pressure.
Absolutely. I just love sim pressure so much because we are in an offensive game. Especially in recent times, we are in a pure offensive game that this league is. So when you can, anything you can do to kind of to bring that momentum back to you on defense, I always love. And sim pressures, I think, are one of the best ways to do that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So this one, honestly, I don't even know really what I was going to ask about this one. I just wanted to know it. I think you already know exactly what the play is. Just from
I know. I already know what it is.
So I just want to ask you, like, what's kind of going through your head on this one? I mean, you got the nice one-handed interception. Like.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, pre-snap, like my theory is offenses always tell you what's their hand. You give the given situation. Mm-hmm. Third down. And the biggest thing is the back is wide.
Yeah.
You go look at Mississippi State film, this year, the back is never wide when he's getting the ball. He's either kind of at a, he's closer to a quarterback and more out of a backed up position. But the back is wide to get out. And the situation is third down, so it's pass. We're in dime personnel defensive wise. And really and truly post snap, it was just reading the quarterback's eyes, kind of playing the concept on what they've been doing. And the one-hander just kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest with you. It wasn't, I promise you, it wasn't planned. I just saw the ball thrown. I was like, you know what, I'm going to go one hand. So I'm glad I caught it, because I know if I didn't catch it, I would have heard it from all my teammates, Coach Aranda, my position coach, and definitely Coach O. So I'm glad I came down with it.
Do you feel like, I always feel like when you make a big, like, it's been a while since I played sports, obviously, but I feel like when you make a play like that, you always feel so much faster with the ball in your hands.
You feel good. Oh yeah, you feel good catching that ball. And for me, it was a long time, because I, playing in high school, I played both sides of the ball, and as a freshman, I caught a pass for LSU my freshman year. So this was probably a long. I was excited because it was a long time since I had the ball in my hand in a game and running. So I was very excited when I got that opportunity to catch and run.
Oh yeah, man. No, I know. I played offensive line when I was a little kid. And anytime I touched the football, I was like, "Oh shit, what do I do?"
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You got to take full advantage. I mean, I was upset with Grant. Basically, he tackled me because I definitely was gonna run over that offensive player, but I guess Grant didn't want me to get the pick six that day.
No. Grant's a big time player. He wanted all the credit. That's what it was.
Oh yeah. Nah, he was trying to get on the block.
No.
I said he tackled me.
All right, so now we're at the Florida game. Was this the game that Patrick Peterson said good game to you after?
Oh yeah, because he was a visiting player. He was one of the I want to say he was he did the coin toss. He was a guest player, okay. And I guess he went into the booth, but man, he said he had a good game 3. And I promise you, as soon as he drove off, I was on the phone like, Dad, you won't believe what just happened.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, no, because I like for my moment like that, I interviewed Antonio Cromartie last year, and I was calling him on the phone, and then the second I got off of the like Skype call with him, I called my dad, and I was like, holy shit, I just talked with Antonio Cromartie. Like, dude, it's so cool.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, it's
starstruck.
Man, just being able to talk and being able for those guys like. So the people that's close to me, they know that Patrick Peterson and Julio Jones, like those two guys, like if they, if I ever go against Julio Jones or Julio Jones were ever to talk to me after a game, or if I get drafted to Atlanta and we were to talk, man, I don't know. I don't know what I would say. I just be in awe every day at practice if I got drafted to Atlanta.
Yeah, dude, I can see you get drafted by Atlanta and just see him in the locker. You see that number in the locker room, like, oh, dude.
Oh yeah,
that shit's so cool. It's just so freaking cool.
Definitely.
But getting to this game here, and what prompted Patrick Peterson to saying that you had a good game 3 was what I saw in this game. There's a couple clips. I just got the one here, but Kyle Pitts, one of the best players in college football, like not even just tight ends or anything, just one of the best overall players in football. And you had a really good game against him. How was that matchup for you when you were, in the slot covering Kyle Pitts in this one?
I mean, on this play particular, like I said, it's third down again. So basically I'm playing the dime role. And in this situation, it's third and long. So I knew that it was going to be a vertical pass. And really and truly, I just knew where my help was. I knew my help was outside, so I play with inside. I play with inside leverage, and basically when he broke the route all the way back inside like that, I knew that he was just trying to create a window for Kyle Trask to stick the ball in. But at the end of the day, just knowing the situation and just knowing your opponent, when he does that skip, he's not trying to create a vertical threat anymore. He's trying to, that year he was just really trying to get into his break when he does that little jump step that he does. So when I knew he did that, he wasn't going anywhere. So I just basically just kind of flattened out right there.
What was that in the game plan? Because I saw you matched up with him quite a bit in the slot. Was it kind of in the game plan for you on these like big downs, like it's third downs and stuff, for you to kind of go on Pitts because of your size and speed?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it was. My coaches, especially that year with Coach Aranda, it was me and Grant's job to cover the tight end. So, but really and truly, depending on, what down, like it literally, me and Grant would literally look at each other like, do you want to get him this time or do you want me to get him this time? It really, or sometimes we're arguing on who's going to guard the tight end. So, it wasn't game plan for me to guard Kyle Pitts some, and it was a game plan for Grant to guard him. So, it was just, backing away from a challenge like Kyle Pitts is something that's not in my DNA. So, I got the opportunity to guard one of the best tight ends, like you said, one of the best players in this draft coming up, and I held my own. I argue, I got one pass interference call that was questionable, but I argue that I went 3-0 against him on our one-on-one matchups.
Yeah, no, I don't even remember the pass interference. It didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Right.
Unless it's blatantly obvious, I don't count it. That's my
right.
I've always been a defensive guy, though. I don't care about offense. All right, so every clip we look, this is the last one I got for you, but we've seen edge rush, off-ball linebacker. We've seen mugging the A gap or B gap. We've seen slot corner. Now we got to get to single high safety. I saw a lot of what you did was kind of too high type stuff. But like you said, in high school, you played a lot of safety. So this single high role wasn't anything that was foreign to you either?
Oh no, it definitely wasn't. I pride myself on being versatile. So I mean, of course, like coming to college, there's stuff you have to work on, and there's different things you have to clean up on. But playing deep definitely wasn't something that was awkward or very foreign to me. It was something that was natural to me.
Yeah. I guess with playing like deep safety or playing that single high safety, you have to see so much of the field. How big is it kind of just seeing formation and I don't want to say like guessing before the play, but kind of knowing what's coming before the play even happens to make those reads, because there's so much ground to cover when you're on that back end.
Right. So I mean, when you're closer to the ball, and this is like you have to know where you're at on the field. When you're closer to the ball, it's more reactive. I mean, and you can play more. You can play faster in a sense. You can play. You have to play fast back there, but you play faster and more reactive once you're closer to the ball, just because of how fast everything moves down there. Playing in the middle of the field, that's where like I said earlier in the session, that I take down notes on what I feel like quarterbacks do, and the offense always tells you what they're going to do. So, when I'm back in the middle of the field, I'm looking at or going back based off what I watched in film, what quarterbacks do when they throw the ball and where they throw the ball middle of the field wise. So right here, I know this quarterback. He always, he was a young quarterback, so he looks to where he's going to throw. He looks pre-snap where he's going to throw, and he basically stares down the receiver. And I jump the throw. And really and truly, playing back there is just being very instinctual.
Yeah. Oh, that was a blast. And honestly, just talking ball with you, I mean, seeing all the stuff you played. Going to the NFL, I saw the Senior Bowl. He played a lot of linebacker. I mean, you're going to play anywhere though, right? Wherever they want you to play.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Get on the field. That's goal number one in the NFL. So wherever they want me to play, doesn't bother me, or that's something that I'm willing to do. If I get drafted and they want me to go play will linebacker and weigh 225 pounds playing will linebacker, 230 when playing will linebacker, that's something that I'm gonna do. If they want me to be 215 playing safety, or doing whatever I need to do to help the team, is what I'm willing to do. And you saw that where I'm at, what I did at LSU, and I did it at the best that I can. But just for the Senior Bowl and Mr. Nagy to basically almost throw me in that will linebacker, because I come into the week thinking I was going to play a little safety, some safety. Mm-hmm. That is like, JaCoby, we have COVID happened and somebody came in injured, so we need you to go play safety. I mean, I'm sorry, go play will linebacker. So I was like, all right, well, fine. That doesn't bother me at all. But that just speaks to my versatility, and just I think that speaks to my versatility and my IQ of the game. Like I've been saying, this whole draft combine, I've been saying to my agent with Isaac at 8'3" and Chad at 8'3", is that you go back and look at my film, you go look at my production. There's no question that I'm the most versatile player in this draft, and I'm the best versatile player in this draft. I mean, when you look at tackles for loss, players on the ball, sacks, there's no one that comes close to my production when it comes to being versatile. So, that's something I pride on. I pride myself on being, and it's just fun playing multiple positions. It keeps me on my toes.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. I'm telling you, as someone who just watches defense and stuff like that, absolute blast watching all the film. And honestly, talking ball with you and talking about some of your off-field stuff, somehow I like you even more as a prospect now. I don't know how that was possible coming into this. So I know you guys, every time I have one of these players on, I always say keep an eye on them and stuff. But I will be completely honest when I say JaCoby Stevens is one of my favorite players I've watched in the last couple of years. Like, I absolutely love the film. Especially at LSU, to do that at LSU, playing every single position, that's just awesome to see. But I appreciate you taking the time, and good luck getting to the next level. And hopefully you get on whatever team Patrick Peterson signs with, or Julio Jones if he's still with Atlanta. Hopefully you end up with one of those guys and you can be starstruck all year long.
Thank you.
All right. You have a good one, buddy.
All right. You too.